And we will be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It is currently 8 a.m. like normal. It is 60 degrees outside with a high of 79 today, so almost 80 degrees out. So not too hot. I'm wondering when we're going to get hit with the super hot weather, like we're talking 90s and stuff. It felt like 90 this last weekend, but it still hasn't really been like miserably hot yet. But so you know it's coming. It's just right around the corner, waiting to rear its ugly head. But with that being said, traffic conditions are kind of slow right now, at least over there by the 76th Street entrance ramp onto 169. There's a little bit of some congestion going on over there. So be advised, if you are driving into Owasso right now, if you're driving into Tulsa from Owasso right now, you might have a little bit of a choke point up there. So if you haven't left yet, you might consider taking a different route, maybe going 75 or going the Mingo Road. So, but I mean, it doesn't look like it's too bad. It is slow and steady, but it's just not flowing as well as it should be. And sometimes they are coming to a borderline complete stop over there. So be advised. Now, upcoming events in the area, nothing has changed. Owassoisms didn't have anything on their map until the 23rd, and then we had the 3 events Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the Chamber of Commerce. So
there is actually one update on Owassoisms, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes. There is a Road Run Club race series at the Owasso Sports Complex on May 18th.
Interesting.
So on the 18th, there is a fun run going on. So you might want to check that out on I just checked it out on Owassoisms. As for the chamber again, yes, it's a business over breakfast on the 15th at that Eagle tent, and ambassador meeting on the 16th at the Ascension St. John, and then Dignitarian Donuts on the 17th.
Cool,
And
cool.
that's it.
Cool. All right. Well, pushing on to more national news. Yesterday, I mean, this has been. Oh, sorry. We'll go ahead and bring up the Thunder really quick. The Thunder won last night, so the season is 2-2 in this postseason playoff
Right.
match. So
the Thunder ended up pulling out a W last night, so we're 2-2 right now in this series. So hopefully, we can bring this back together and win this one.
Yeah, I imagine the game is probably going to be on Thursday. Usually it's a day on, a day off. So hopefully they rest up, but also stay in shape enough to handle this next game, because it's been a dogfight. You know, that was a clutch, close game last night. So God willing, they will come out on top. So let's push on into national news. So if you didn't know already, like, there was a huge controversy about the Ashley Biden diary a while back. I mean, this is almost 2 years ago, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman found Ashley Biden's diary in a hotel room that she got. So Ashley Biden stayed at this hotel, and then another chick came in and found this diary there, and then she sold it. And then I think James O'Keefe and his media group figured out that it was real. This was an authentic diary. And, of course, Snopes and all these places came out and said, well, we don't know that, but, this is just the mainstream media running political cover for Biden's bad behavior. So it's real. I mean, Snopes has finally undone their fact check saying it was false and saying it was real. And their fact check is basically saying, so this is why you cannot trust Snopes. You can't trust these fact checkers. The big reason being, this woman who sold the diary, who found the diary and then sold it to whatever media group, all the stuff in the diary was factual. I mean, it was all her writing. It was confirmed. But the Snopes and all these fact-checking groups basically said, well, we can't prove that they didn't add pages to it. That is the level. That is the level of fact-checking. Like, we can't prove that because we haven't seen it, so we can't prove it. I mean, talk about partisan hackery at its finest. If it had been somebody from Trump's families, they'd have been like, they would have probably added pages or taken things completely out of context. But, I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, they're just reading what she has in the diary. And in the diary, it confirms that she had, and this is a diary she wrote as an adult going through therapy and counseling. And reflexively looking back at her childhood, she's gone back and said, the stuff that I did with my dad as a child was actually very inappropriate. So the fact checkers, Snopes, they've confirmed all of this now. But again, it doesn't matter because when did it matter? It mattered 2 years ago. The same with the Hunter Biden laptop thing. When did it matter? It mattered 4 years ago during the peak of the election cycle.
Yeah.
The media runs cover and protects the Democratic candidates and will do everything in their power to make sure that their guys win. It's not about journalistic truth. It's not about journalistic integrity. It's about, well, we'll worry about journalistic integrity 2 years later whenever our guy's in office.
Yeah, well, and also this brings the whole thing that just really bugs me about this is that anybody that claimed Trump was an abuser of women and all those and all these trials that were all alleged and none of them have been proven in a court of law, have anybody that believes that and still touts that to this day has no right to say anything because now Biden is an incestuous
Child abuser. And woman abuser.
Yes. I mean, it's ridiculous the fact that if anybody stands on those principles of, I would never let an abuser be president, I would never vote for an abuser to be president, you have literally elected someone who was the worst kind of abuser, a child abuser.
Yeah, and the problem is you won't hold yourself up to the same. Well, we didn't know. It's like, no, you did know. You just choose not to look at it, or the media chooses not to report on it. So the sources that you get your information from don't report on it. So you're like, oh, well, I can be willfully ignorant to it because I trust the media. This is what conservatives have been saying for years. Don't trust the media. Everyone's like, CNN is a partisan news outlet. They're not. I mean, who is it? It's Chris Cuomo's working on the Patrick McDavid podcast, the PBD podcast now.
Yeah.
He's literally saying, I mean, he's getting paid by him now, so maybe he doesn't have any integrity still. He didn't have any integrity when he worked at CNN, but he's saying, yeah, CNN got it wrong about COVID, got it wrong about ivermectin now. It's like, yeah, now he can say that because he doesn't work for that media outlet anymore. So that's where we're at, folks. You cannot trust these media outlets. You cannot trust it because they all have a narrative they're trying to spin. Same, you can't really trust Fox. I'm kind of at the point where I don't know if I want to trust the Daily Wire anymore. But everybody has an agenda they're trying to push. So there's just no journalistic integrity. There is no... I don't know. This is why you just have to find a journalist or someone you trust. Someone that you can... I mean, like I said, for the most part, I trust the majority of the people at the Daily Wire. I just think they've handled this whole Candace Owens firing situation very... It's clear that they have partisan issues that they're dealing with there. But
yes, I agree.
But that's neither here nor there. That's irrelevant to this. Overall, you have to find people within the media who you trust. And if you're someone who watches old media, if you're someone who gets their news from CNN, ABC, MSNBC, Fox, realize that people at the top are telling them what to say. They're feeding them things, or they're telling them what they can and can't talk about. Why do you think Tucker Carlson's independent now? They were trying to muzzle him, going, you're talking about stuff we don't want to talk about. So that's why you have to find someone you trust. And that's why you can't... And again, you have people who polluted the well for years, like Jon Stewart, John Oliver. That's all these comedians are. They're just people poisoning the well. Comedy is the greatest weapon against the truth or against common sense ideas. And I say common sense. It's not really a good saying, common sense, but y'all understand. It's pretty wild. But why don't you pull up that video of Douglas Murray talking about the whole Hunter Biden situation? So we're going to pull up a video here from one of my favorite political commentators. His name is Douglas Murray. He is a British conservative political commentator, And he was on Bill Maher recently, and he was talking about the double standardness of the media during the Hunter Biden scandal. And what he says here, he's just got that quick-witted British dry sense of humor, and it's truly fantastic. It's something to behold. So whenever Chad's ready, he'll play this, and we will.
Absolutely. I've got the sound on. Let me get rid of this little thing here at the bottom real quick.
All right.
We're ready to play.
All right. But yeah, there you go. I mean, how poignant is that? You cannot make it any. I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't know if anyone could have said it better. The media's job is to be what a dog is to a lamppost. You're meant to piss on the politicians that you're reporting on. Your job is to scrutinize them.
Sound wasn't playing on that. Let me restart that again.
I'm
sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, you can keep talking.
Yeah, I know. So I basically gave it away. But
you're not meant to be. Media as a whole, the public can see right through it. The public knew exactly what most of the media were doing with Hunter Biden in the 2016 election. They knew the 2020 election, sorry. They knew that there was an attempt to suppress the story, and then afterwards we discovered, sure, there was an attempt to suppress the story. Why? Because a large amount of the media just wanted to get their guy in. I can't understand this. I have to say, I don't know about the job of a comedian, but the job of a journalist in relation to politicians is famously what the position of a dog should be to a lamppost. You're meant to piss on them. You're not meant to be. Media as a whole, the public can see right through it.
Great line by Douglas Murray. I mean, his political commentary is on point. I've been following him for years. He's just fantastic. And that's the truth right there. I mean, the media did not show any scrutiny when it came to Biden. Like I said, all it was F Trump. We hate Trump. And again, if you didn't see the bias in the media towards Trump, then you're living in a fantasy world. I mean, it's kind of crazy that people think that was so. I mean, this is why he's so beloved by people. People just don't understand how much the media hated. Like, Trump didn't win the election. He won the election because he was an anti-establishment candidate in 2016. He lost the election because the media in 2020. The media weaponized they've already done studies on this. They said that 90% of all the coverage of Trump was all negative.
Yep.
Every day on the news.
Yeah, and people like to forget this fact too, was because we're not the biggest Fox News fans either. But there were Fox News contributors who were like, I hate this man. I hate him.
Yeah.
And they still do to this day. So even the only mainstream media positive outlet towards, conservatives or Republicans still had people on there like, nope, I'm not going to report anything nice about this dude.
No. So that's where we're at with this. You cannot understand. Like, if you are watching the news, even if you're passively watching the news, your worldview is being formed by what you're passively observing, even if you're just hearing it in the background. If your kids are growing up and they're watching something, go negative, 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 they're like, Mommy, why is the TV always saying bad stuff about the president? And like, you're one of those people like, well, that's because he's a bad man. And you're just like, okay. But again, remember, if you are hearing something about someone and it's only negative stuff all the time, you're being lied to and you're being manipulated to. If you can't say anything nice about someone who you're criticizing, then you have a warped view of who they are. That's why whenever what was fantastic, a fantastic debate if anybody remembers the Ron DeSantis Nikki Haley debate, if anybody, because I know how pointless those debates were too, because we all knew Trump was going to be the candidate. At least those of us with a brain in our head,
half a brain.
But at one point in the debate, they asked Ron, they go, if you could say anything positive about Nikki Haley, what would you say? And he goes, she's a competent governor. She's a competent leader. She knows what she's doing. She's not a bad leader. I just think that I'll do a better job than she does. What a reasonable and wonderful thing to say about your opponent. Nikki Haley didn't say anything nice about Ron. He goes, she's just like, I can do better. He's a nice guy. That's about it. Like, I can't even remember. I just remember it was astounding to me that Ron could string together some positive stuff to say about her, and she couldn't say anything nice about him. So, again, even the world's worst dictators had human-like qualities about them, had nice things that they did for people. Now, overall, did they do horrible things? Yes. But in their interpersonal life, they could probably string along some very nice things for people around them.
Yes. I think we can all agree with that. That's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
So, just remember, if you're only told negative stuff, you are being manipulated. That's why you got to be very careful about this stuff that comes out of the Israel-Palestine stuff. You have to be very careful what you consume. If you only hear negative things about Israel, you're probably being lied to. If you only hear positive things about Israel, you're still probably being lied to. Same with Palestine. If you only hear good things about Palestine, you are most certainly being lied to. If you only hear negative things about Palestine, yeah, you're probably still being lied to there too. You have to have a balanced worldview. You have to understand both sides and be able to come to a conclusion in the middle. That's why judges are supposed to be impartial. But, yeah, it's just wild. So, we'll push on to, I guess, the second part of the video. We'll talk about the bear. So, it is amazing to me, these women choosing bears over men meme. We actually talked about this not too long ago in our video titled Tornadoes, Pedos, and Bears, oh my. But the meme's making a comeback, but it's making a comeback in a different way. So if you remember, the crux of the meme, we showed a video of, it was like a TikTok trend, where girls would say, would you rather be trapped in the woods and come across a bear or a man? So women kept choosing the bear, which is dumb because bears are wild animals. They can hurt you. They can kill you. They weigh several hundred pounds more than a man does. They have claws and sharp teeth. So this goes to show you how good of a society we've created, how good of a society we've built, that women who live in cities and don't interact with wildlife very often outside of the zoo think that they would be safer with a wild animal than they would with a strange man. Now I get it. It's what do you call it? It's location bias, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're in the city, more than likely you're going to be hurt by a man and not an animal. But that doesn't take for a second the dangers of the wilderness out of wild animals. But again, that just goes to show you how good we have it in this society.
What was that stat that you're more likely to be killed by a cow than you are a shark?
Yes.
One of those stats.
Yeah.
It's not because the cow is purposely trying to kill you. It's because the cow is still a 100-pound.
It's a 2-ton animal, and you're more. And farmers and ranch hands are more likely to interact with cows. Like I said, they could get caught up in a stampede. One could just buck wild, step on his head, and crush him. Like, that's why we interact with cows more than we do sharks.
Get kicked by a horse or hoof or a cow hoof. I mean, it can kill you. Hit
Get
you
a
in
blood
the head.
clot in your artery and die.
Dead. Happens all the time.
Yeah, happens more often than you think. But, again, we've created this society so safe that women think they'd be safer with a wild bear than they would an animal. So, we'll show you this real quick clip of a bear attacking a camera and being like, oh, how safe do you feel with a bear? Well, they're releasing a bear back into the wild, and watch what it does. The first thing it does whenever it comes out of this cage.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Make sure I still have the sound on. I do. We're playing.
Yeah, ladies, imagine that coming after you in a while. Boom. So yeah, reason one why the answer to that question is incredibly dumb.
What was that? There's like,
And then the
there's
other
people
one-
that are like, we have a Shark Week. We should have like a bear month. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're more likely to be killed by a bear than
a
bears.
shark.
Bears kill more people than sharks do.
Yeah. But we'll do one more. And so men are making a comeback on this meme, and the comeback meme is just hilarious. So you have that other one ready to pull up, pull that thing up. Okay.
Right here.
So basically it's the angry girl meme, and she's like, we choose, and she's crying. She goes, we choose the bear. And then it's a bear standing next to the Giga Chad meme, and the bear goes, I choose the man to be friends with. So the guys have made a comeback on this meme, and now they're showing like Russian bears with like people that tamed Russian bears with men. So play this video.
You got it.
I love it though. Look at like women. We choose the bear. Bear. I choose the man. So good, man. So good.
There was also another one that they made. I don't know if you saw it, but it's a girl choosing it's a brown bear.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they have a happy life. They have like a kid together, and then it shows. Yeah, it's very weird, but it's funny. And then it shows her taking the brown bear to court and divorcing him. Then it shows her with a polar bear.
Oh my
It was
god.
pretty bad. It was
Oh
pretty
my
bad. I was
gosh.
laughing really hard at it. If I can find it, I'll post it like on the page or something. But it was pretty
Gosh.
bad.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's just a comeback meme for just ridiculing these city girls for how ridiculous their take is, because it is. It's a very low IQ take. It's just a very dumb take. So the fact that this meme still hasn't died yet is it's just funny, and so that's why we brought it back again today. Now I think we have one more thing we kind of wanted to talk about, and it's going to go on to how ungrateful kids are these days. And not just kids, specifically kids who are indoctrinated or brainwashed by left-wing ideology. And these kids posting stuff like this to TikTok and just being disrespectful and dismissive of perfectly good parents. So whenever you're ready, Chad, we can
pulled up.
just play this thing, and you can listen to this ungrateful girl.
And playing now.
Whose narcissistic parent would show up to every single event I was ever involved in. This is one of those weird ones where I always felt like speaking about this behavior negatively could be perceived in the wrong way. Like my parent was just being supportive, and how lucky was I to have a parent who always showed up. Boo-hoo, your parent was there for you. But did you also feel like sometimes it was a bit excessive, especially if it was a bit more of a repetitive thing where maybe I was doing the same thing on multiple days in a row?
Okay, so what we have is a generation who is so desperate and eager to be the victim and to have some sort of perceived trauma that they will actually make stuff up just to complain about. What we have here is a woman who sounds like had supportive parents who loved her and who wanted to be part of her life and be there for her, but she's still using that as an excuse to complain. And now she's calling them narcissists. It's like, parents, no matter how good a job you do with your kids, don't let them on social media because they'll still turn out like weirdos.
Am I the only one who's narcissistic?
Yep, and that was Lauren Chin, and
Yeah.
she's a
Conservative
conservative commentator as well. But yeah, I think she's 100% right on that. Like, ever since this girl's been given everything, she had supportive parents, and she's still trying to find something to complain about.
Yeah, I mean, I understand wanting to have some level of separation from your parents and yourself, but when they show up to
teenage phase is about.
yeah, but I mean, like, that's what going to school is for. That's what going to work is for. You do things outside of your parents in order to feel that level of independence. But then why would you complain when they come to support you at, like, your sporting events or your scholastic events? Like, if it's like a school competition. Why would you complain about that? Why would you think that's a bad thing? I mean, I didn't even play that much. I wasn't even really a starter on my football team, but my parents still showed up to support back in high school. Like, it's just what loving, good parents do. They want to be involved in your life. They want to see you when you're performing at that level. They want to be there to support you whether you win or lose. But yeah, these ungrateful kids who are brainwashed by this left-wing ideology, this left-wing TikTok, I mean, and again, that could be a failing on the parents' part. They didn't teach their daughter to be grateful enough. But it's maybe one day she'll wake up and realize that that was the best part about her parents, was the fact that they were so supportive, that they were so inclined and happy to be there and support her in those endeavors, whether she won or lost. But yeah, that's unbelievable to me that you could be that disrespectful. You could dislike your parents that much that you would just like, I wish they weren't here. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Something's wrong with her, that's for sure.
Yeah. People, be sure to teach your kids gratefulness. It is truly an underrated quality to teach people. Be grateful for the things you have.
Your parents have suffered for you and to get you to where you are their whole lives, and I don't think nobody is that grateful of it anymore. It's like your parents, you're standing on the shoulders of your parents, of everybody that's ever helped you out.
Yeah,
Nobody's grateful for it anymore.
We're at the generation of people, I didn't ask to be alive. Yeah. I didn't ask to be born. It's like, okay, well, I guess the empty void of nothingness is better then. God, Lord. Okay. But yeah, gratefulness is something that needs to be taught. And like, again, this is what happens when we focus on rights and privileges over responsibility and duty.
Yep.
It's like, I deserve this. Why do you deserve this? I'm pretty sure you don't deserve anything. You don't deserve a free meal. You don't deserve anything.
Nope.
It's like, reap what you sow. And it just sounds to me like you're trying to sow off your parents. But I get it. We all want some level of independence. That's all growing up is. It's just getting more and more independence from your parents until it gets to the point where your parents become dependent on you. So don't take that for granted. You don't have your parents here. They won't be here forever. One day you'll wake up and realize, I woke up the other day and realized I was 33. I was like, wow, where did the time go? So, yeah. Weaponize your time and make sure you capitalize on the time spent with family and loved ones, because you'll never get that back, period. That's about all we got for you today, folks. Ran a little bit longer than I thought we would, but yeah. This is about all we've got. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. We are signing off. God bless y'all.
See you later, everybody.